Welcome back. Let's take you straight back to one of our breaking news stories now. Angelo Agrizzi has reached a settlement with the SA Human Rights Commission. The former Bosasa executive has admitted to several racial slurs. Let's get you some perspective on the story now. Buang Jones speaks on behalf of the SA Human Rights Commission and joins us in studio. Thanks very much, Mr. Jones, for coming in. Some criticism, perhaps, of a settlement of this nature to be reached, that it's not severe enough. What would you say to that?
Well, no amount of damages can effectively eradicate racism. We were guided by the guiding principles in the Equality Act, which requires us to apply the use of restorative measures in conjunction with measures of a deterrent nature. It is our considered view that 200,000 is in line with a recent court judgment in the Springs Magistrates Court, in which the Commission was representing a farm worker who was forced to drink feces. In that case, the court awarded damages in the amount of 200,000. AfriForum is appealing this case, assisting the farmer, and we agreed with Mr. Agrizzi that 200,000 may not be sufficient, and he's agreed and made an undertaking that he will visit Alexandra next week. He will also see to it that he speaks to the people he knows in the business world that can assist this foundation, which is led by the patron, Mr. Bani Mokhatle, who was part of the 1976 youth uprising with Mr. Tsitsi Mashenin.
I suppose the concern for ordinary South Africans would be, you know, how do we decide whether someone is a convicted racist and then deserves jail time, if we think of the likes of Penny Sparrow,
yep,
or whether someone is allowed to, someone with means, someone with money, is allowed to use that money to evade a harsher sentence, for lack of a better word?
Yeah. People often confuse the equality court processes with criminal prosecution. The NPA provisionally withdrew charges against Mr. Agrizzi, charges of crime and injury. Our application was for hate speech, and these are two separate processes. And there's also a bill before Parliament, the Hate Crimes Bill, which seeks to criminalize hate speech and other hateful crimes in the country. And we hope, as soon as this is promulgated by Parliament, it will also be used to deter people who still conduct themselves in this fashion, given that the use of the K-word is offensive in all senses, is undoubtedly disparaging, demeaning, and is an embodiment of racial supremacy, which must be defeated in South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we spoke to Angelo Agrizzi's lawyer just a short while ago on the channel, Daniel Witz, and he was talking to us as well about his client visiting this charity organization in Alexandra, that it in fact won't be a once-off visit, that this is something that he wants to follow through on. But that's not something that the SA Human Rights Commission has ordered him to do, is it? This following up and following through with his work with this charity in Alex?
Yes, it's not part of the settlement, and we welcome this. It is a sign of remorsefulness on the part of Mr. Agrizzi. He delivered a heartfelt apology outside court, and we hope that he will not make similar utterances in the future. In fact, the court has barred him. He's now restrained from communicating or propagating hateful utterances. But we've also announced that we will consider taking legal action against the Watsons, Jared Watson and Lindsay Roth. They were in the meeting with Mr. Agrizzi when he made these hateful utterances. And the Equality Act is very clear, particularly Section 12, that no one may disseminate or publicize information that unfairly discriminates. And the conduct of Mr. Agrizzi was racist, discriminatory, and hateful.
So just to clarify on that issue, Gavin Watson's children were not only in the room when these utterances were made, but they apparently took the decision to make a recording.
Yes, we still have to verify the circumstances under which this happened, and Mr. Agrizzi will be supporting our application. And we still have to look at, have to subject this to a merit assessment before we file our papers. But he has promised that should the Commission wish to use his evidence or affidavit in support of our application, he's more than willing.
All right, well, thanks very much, as always, for your time and coming into studio. Buang Jones speaks on behalf of the SA Human Rights Commission.